Evening all. Episode 6, Modulate TV. Welcome everybody. How nice to see everybody again. Well, I can't see you, but you can see us kind of thing. And you're going to see some amazing things tonight as well. We've got 6 superb artists that have been very carefully found and selected and tested by our in-house guru. He's here, the man himself. It's Rob Dixon.
Hey Jules, you alright?
Evening Rob, I'm very well indeed. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, very excited about this one.
Well, there is some extremely exciting stuff in here. There's also, I was trying to add up, as I was watching the videos earlier on, trying to tot up a value of gear that's in here. It's tens and tens of thousands.
It's quite extraordinary, this one. I think we've got our first appearance of a Juno 106 on tonight's show, which is going to excite a few people.
Well, the Juno 106, used by Moby, 808 State, Underworld, Left Field, Chemical Brothers, everybody uses the Juno 106. It's a proper classic, good old synth.
And I think, if I remember rightly from his Instagram, he fixed it himself. He stripped it down, he's fixed something in there. I'd like to know more technical details, Jules, but yeah, so he knows the inside and the outside of this synth. And he uses it to brilliant effect on this track that we'll hear, which is a jam from him. He's got an EP out recently called Simulation, which you can get on Bandcamp and Spotify. Right. Someone I've been following on Instagram for a while. I know quite a few of the Only Human Collective have been kind of following him on Facebook as well. And when you hear this jam tonight, you'll understand why, because it's an absolute belter to start the show with.
Tell you what, shall we have a listen then, and then we can come back afterwards, have a quick chat about it, and then we'll move on with the other things. So this is Mimo Marfugi, I hope I've pronounced that even nearly correctly, who's performing as Mimbot. And what's the song called, Rob?
I don't think it's got a name.
Well, in that case, we'll just call it Nameless. Here we go. Wow. Mimbot. You can really hear that Juno in there, can't you?
I know. All that chap needs, Jules, is cold beer, a nice beer garden somewhere, and a view of a gorgeous sunset doing somewhere warm.
That would cover it quite nicely, but just the sound out of that Juno, it's such a deep rumble that comes out of that thing. It's a beautiful sounding synth.
Just the summery vibes, that track full stop was just spot on. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, really lovely there from Mimo Marfugi. Again, I hope I've pronounced that even slightly correctly, which is Mimbot. So brilliant. Thank you very much indeed for that. And really nice to see that Juno 106 in action and used by somebody who knows how to use it properly as well, which is fantastic. So moving on, next up, we've got Almec. I don't know much about Almec, Rob.
No, Almec, he's another London-based producer, real name Alex Hall. So he's another person I've been following on Instagram for a while. Caught my eye with his jams on the Digitact. Just one of those people who just makes the Digitact just come alive, and just the real kind of funky rhythms which bring together doing house music, hip hop, techno, just that real mashup of rhythms that we'd all know and recognise, but kind of makes it his own sound. And every time he posts something, just one of those posts that kind of really capture your attention. So
and he's doing a bit of rapping over the top of here as well, kind of very subtle rapping now. Would you call it rapping? I think I couldn't.
So I don't think that's him. I think he got those vocals from Splice. So he's put those samples in, and then he's kind of mixed that with his with his production on the Digitact and some of the other machines he's got there. But it's actually, he's got an album out called Antiphony, which you can get on Bandcamp. Similar to Mimo, should have said that. Mimbot should have said that his stuff's on Bandcamp as well. And this is a track called Ribs, which is actually from that release. It's from that album. So it's a special live performance of that track for us for Modulate TV.
Do you know what? Anybody who's got an eagle eye tonight, try and count how many Digitacts we've got in all these videos tonight. They're absolutely everywhere. But also, there's a bit of a Moog fest going on tonight as well. So this is the first bit of Moog kit I spotted in here. And he's got the subsequent 37 that he's using here, which is a beautiful piece of Moog equipment. It really is. Really is. So shall we have a listen to Almec?
Fine pair of socks as well, Jules, as well. It's good to see a man rocking his synth in his socks. So
well, I wasn't sure whether those were socks or whether that was a pair of slippers. You might have hit the nail on the head with socks there, Rob. That's sock gate sorted.
We'll have a close look. Comments below. We'll have a close look, eh?
Let's have a look at his socks and listen to the song too.
Murderous phrases of hyper, making my way through the night just. If you're in the block, go with just. Race up a hand or a lighter. Murderous phrases of hyper, making my way through the night just. If you're in the block, go with just. Race up a hand or a lighter. Murderous phrases of making my way through the. If you're in the block, go race up a hand or a lighter. Murderous phrases of hyper, making my way through the. If you're in the block, go with just. Race up a hand. night just. If you're in a block or a whip just. Raise up a hand or a lighter. Murderous races are hyper. Make him away through the night just. If you're in a block or a whip just. Raise up a hand or a lighter. Murderous races are hyper. Make him away through the night just. If you're in a block or a whip just. Raise up a hand or a lighter. Murderous races are hyper. Make him away through the night just. If you're in a block or a whip just. Raise up a hand or a lighter. Murderous races are hyper. Make him away through the night just. If you're in a block or a whip just. Raise up a hand or a
Almec, that was lovely. That really was very nice indeed. You're right, Rob. That wrapping works well into there. I'm gonna have to have a bit of a poke about on Splice and see if I can find something like that.
Yeah, and check out his album as well. As I say, I haven't heard that and heard his other stuff. The album's probably well worth a listen. So yeah, great stuff.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Almec. That really was superb. Lovely stuff. So moving on, we've now got Surging Mass. Again, an artist I'm not familiar with, Rob.
No, so another one from Instagram, which is a recurring theme tonight. Surging Mass is Jason, who's based in Colorado, so we're going stateside again. He's incredibly prolific, and his kind of creativity shines through on Instagram, mainly with the Electron boxes. So, and he's recently gone down the modular rabbit hole, like a lot of us. So yeah, he's just one of those people who every day appears on your feed, and he's just doing the most fantastically creative, inspirational stuff. And in this track in particular, he uses the Vermona Performer. It's a
right
analog 4-track mono synth that it just sounds utterly not monosynth, polysynth obviously. It sounds utterly beautiful in this track. So.
Well, I did spot a bit more Moog gear here as well. So he's got a DFAM and a Mother 32 there, which are both semi-modular Moog pieces of kit.
And I say he's got the modular setup that he's just started using, the Electron boxes,
yeah.
and then, but in particular, say listen out for the Vermona Performer on this, because it's what gives you those lovely polyphony and kind of pad sounds that come through on the track.
Well, let's get into it and let's have a listen. Surging Mass. Here we go. So that was Surging Mass. That was really, really nice. I wrote down for that, very relaxing, like an edgy Ibiza chill out. So yeah, it was really, really nice that. But you were mentioning before, Rob, that there's quite a bit of edge to a lot of the stuff that he does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So especially if you check out some of his more recent stuff with the modular gear, he's kind of exploring, I guess, some of the old sort of breakbeat stuff of taking a sample and triggering different bits of it at the same time. And as I said, that's his background. He's kind of sampling and vinyl and that kind of thing. So it does come across in that track, and certainly, I mean, well worth checking out on Instagram. Just somebody who's just always pushing it forward on there. So
absolutely, yeah. Surging Mass, really beautiful song. That. Thank you very much indeed for that one. Right, coming up next, well, there's always one big highlight of the night. There's always a big star in there somewhere, Rob. Tonight's you. It's Rob Dixon, Etchasketch coming up next. Take us through this one, Rob.
So this is so I've recently acquired the Soma Lyra. Had my eyes on that for a while, and yeah, this track's essentially my attempt at taming it, and trying to incorporate it with the rest of the setup. So quite I guess for me, a kind of slower, more evolving piece of music.
Yeah, evolving is actually what I wrote down for that. So again, it's a lovely piece that develops and develops and develops, and it's just again something you can just sit and relax and listen to as it sort of moves on. Yeah,
thanks for that. I mean, it's a very atmospheric piece of kit, but equally it's got a real kind of menacing tone and edge to it, and the feedback circuit on it. Basically, as you dial that up. It just creates this swell in the sound, and it builds and builds and builds.
Don't dial it up too far, Rob.
Well, yeah, you do. It's going through a filter. It's going through the Almec filter, which is an old. Right. I think it's a digital emulation filter. So that's kind of controlling it a little bit. And
right, because you did play me a little clip yesterday where you turned it right up and it's got itself into a massive feedback loop, which just went wildly out of control.
It can do that, yeah. It can do that for you, but yeah, on this one it stayed within control, and the little bits where it didn't, Mr. Garnett did his usual editing magic and just took out some of those little clips that weren't supposed to be there. So yeah, thanks to Matt for taming some of the rough edges of the track.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a listen. I know everybody's going to enjoy this, and say sit back, relax, get yourself a cocoa, just sit down and listen to this evolve. We'll see you on the other side. was lovely, Rob. I really enjoyed that, and it does slowly evolve and kind of draws you in as it's going through. And it is a really unusual sound you get out of that machine as well.
Yeah, so you can literally just spend hours on it, and then to wonder where the time's gone, and it's probably been on the same chord for about 2 hours, but but the kind of textures within it are very, very hypnotic and kind of draws you in there.
And I guess that's one of the really satisfying things around using modular gear is that you have got something that evolves directly in front of you, whereas with the stuff I do, which is all fully sequenced and all the rest of it, you're going down a linear path, basically, that I know what it's going to produce when I press that button. With yours, it's more of a developing piece each time.
Yeah, and absolutely, and I think we talked about this with Andy Peggs quite a bit. He's kind of your job almost is to try and harness what's coming out of the system. Part of it's by design, but equally it is very alive and trying to get the best out of it, and just trying to capture those moments where you kind of get everything in sync and it sounds as you want it to do. And unfortunately, this was just one of those tracks where I pressed record at the right time. So
well, it came out beautifully. So moving on, now we've got HoverCat with what is possibly the coolest light show of the night, Rob. It's superb.
He's one of those who, again, on Instagram, kind of just has kind of brought in the visual element as well as the extraordinary musicality that he also possesses as well.
I couldn't work out the bits of kit I was trying to look and see which bits of kit were there, and I could not work out a single bit.
No, so he's got quite a big modular setup, and he also uses a couple of Electron boxes as well. And I'm not sure how he does the video stuff. I don't know whether it's like a video synth or whether it's a software based thing. I know he's been experimenting with it for a while now and trying to incorporate the live video element into his live performance as well.
Right.
Which those of us that know how difficult it is coordinating the music, never mind coordinating video as well. But
yes, I don't know if you remember, Rob. I did attempt to do that once at a live performance with disastrous effect.
I think that involved me having to try and press something at a certain point during the set to make something appear on the screen. Didn't work. It didn't work well. Maybe if we practiced it sort of more than 10 minutes before, might have done something.
That probably would have helped. Now, you were talking before as well that obviously there's probably some people watching and listening who perhaps don't know much about Modulate TV and how it was all kind of formed and what it's for. So could you just take us through a little bit of that before we listen to HoverCat?
So Modulate itself was a physical night that took place in Colwyn Bay in a couple of venues, but then at Sheldon's. Place you know well, and
is that the top quality cocktail bar in the middle of Colwyn Bay?
It is. That'd be the one. Yeah, lovely owners. And the purpose of the original Modulate was kind of create a community in North Wales of people performing live electronic music, and that's what we did, and it was successful, and we really did create that sense of community, I think. But then when 2020 went pear-shaped, and we could no longer kind of gather socially anymore, then we kind of left looking and thinking, okay, well, how long is this going to last, and what does this mean? Because I think we'd all grown to love, as much as performing live, it was getting together and talking about gear, but also having that sense of purpose of when you're working on something, doing, all right, you can put it out on social media and you can share it with people, and you might get the odd bit of interest. Sometimes your loved ones and nearest might even kind of not tell you to turn it off. But that sense of coming together and that sense of purpose, it kind of felt like we might lose that because we couldn't get together and do it in face to face.
And this has worked well, I think. And so we're on episode 6 now. So anybody who's seen this for the first time, there are a further 5 episodes that you can look at on the back catalogue through. Where's the best place to look at them?
YouTube's the best place. So our Modulate channel on YouTube's got all the previous episodes. So
brilliant.
And I mean, the other great thing, trying to make a positive out of the situation was it kind of made me think, well, as well as having the people who used to perform at Modulate and Modulate TV, there's a whole bunch of people, and Alexander HoverCat would be one of those who previously couldn't have played at Modulate. He's based in Berlin. He's someone I've known, again, via Instagram for probably a couple of years now, and we've always kind of said, it'd be great to kind of meet up and jam and get together and for you to come and play Modulate. But realistically, doing Wednesday night in Colwyn Bay,
it's a bit of a trek over from Berlin. Really,
it's a bit of a trek, especially when we're performing for free and for the love of it. So there's not really much in there that do you know what I mean? It's going to kind of make that work. But Modulate TV does, so you can expand the boundaries and actually, as well as keeping the kind of local community together. There's this community that I've been part of on Instagram for probably 3, 4, 5 years now, whereby there's these people, when you post stuff, that you've kind of grown together on the platform, and you're sharing ideas and you're commenting on stuff, and it's just been brilliant to be able to approach those people and go, oh, we're doing this show, would you like to come and would you like to do something for us?
Absolutely, and we've had an amazing mix of music through the 6 episodes. Really quite phenomenal.
Yeah, no, exactly. And tonight is, aside from myself, is all people I've come across on Instagram and whose music I love, and who, I say, just been watching over the past 6 months, a year, and just thinking, my goodness, you're people that make me want to get better, basically, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. And actually, you hear them do something and think, well, right, okay, and do you know, part of creativity is kind of borrowing and stealing ideas and making them your own, and doing. And I think certainly the people who are on here tonight are all people who certainly shared ideas with, and who just kind of inspire me when I see what they're doing, to think, okay, right, I'm going to try that and take that there and do this. The stuff they're producing for the show is extraordinary, and without fail, everyone we've had on has just kind of knocked it out of the park. It's been real top quality stuff throughout. So I tell you what, let's have a listen to HoverCat, and then we'll come back in and let's get inspired. Here we go.
So that was HoverCat. HoverCat wasn't one of the Thundercats, was he?
No, I'm not sure. Can't remember.
No, I'm not sure.
I remember the theme tune, but I'm not going to sing it.
Probably best not to, Rob. Let's not spoil the music of the night with the theme tune of Thundercats. No. That was brilliant, though, HoverCat. Thank you very much indeed for that, and a nice visual performance as well. So, oh my goodness, it's the last song of the night. How's that happened?
I know, it's gone quick tonight. A few longer performances on tonight's show, which is something not necessarily done before. Might do it more in the future and kind of give people a bit more time to explore the set, which is certainly something that Ypsi Kid, Mike, has been trying to do. I think he's trying to get to an hour-long live set, using his Electron boxes and his modular setup. And having done that myself, I know what an undertaking it is to try and take good ideas and things that you've developed and have that mix of structure and improvisation. And I guess the bigger challenge is how you maintain interest for the people who will be listening, and having the right amount of structure but the right amount of freedom to allow yourself to improvise and kind of go where the set takes you.
Well, yeah, speaking of structure, because in the video for this one, there is what looks to be a sequencer running in the background there as well. So there's something with a red screen, which I think is a sequencer.
I think it's the Eloquencer sequencer in the...
Oh, is that what it is?
In the module, right. Which is which is a really great kind of modular sequencer. So yeah, he's got that mix of kind of structure and the freedom to improvise. But just again, get to know Mike. He's a huge doing kind of sort of bass. Certainly spent time in the Detroit area and a huge fan of Detroit techno. And that really comes through in this kind of a jam we hear. Those kind of dubby chords and those hard techno rhythms, and I know he's kind of trying to retain kind of what Detroit techno was about, which was that kind of real raw analog sound that had a bit of freedom, and the tracks kind of felt live. And even a lot of those Detroit tracks that were released, they kind of had that rawness and edge, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also there's a sample in here, and I did a bit of Google searching trying to find it because it sounds like it's a sample from an old film, but I couldn't find anything. I don't know where it's from, but I really like it. And there's a couple of about 3 or 4 different vocal pieces from that sample which are interspersed in throughout. Anyway, have a listen. It's a fantastic piece of work, and just listen to those samples as well. If anybody can identify what they are, or if Ypsi Kid can let us know, it would be just really interesting. Anyway, let's have a listen. We'll be back in a few minutes.
I wonder now if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. I wonder now if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. I wonder now if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. wonder now if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. wonder now if either of us realized that it was 3 in the morning. Creatures can exist there. What manner of creatures can exist there?
Okay, that was Ypsi Kid. That was really, really nice. I'm going to look up that sampler online. I really like the look of that. I like anything with a screen. You know, it's got to have a screen for me.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, it's good bit of kit. One of the few modular samples I've not, sequences that I've not owned.
Well, it's one of the few bits of any piece of kit you've not owned, Rob. Literally every week there's a piece going in or out of your door.
Yeah, I've worked my way through a few sequences.
It's quite a lot of pieces of gear, I'd say. You should do a full gear list of what you've owned through the years.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Don't show your wife.
What you should do though, Julian, is tune in next week on our YouTube channel because we'll play out Mike's full set. So that was brilliant. That was 15 minutes. I think it's around 15 minutes of his, as I say, of what is a kind of 40-minute long set. So if you want to hear the full set, and it's well worth a listen at how he kind of develops and evolves the set, then that's going out on our YouTube channel next week. So we'll put that out a week tonight.
Brilliant. So that's about the where are we now? So it's towards the end of July 2020. Just in case somebody's watching this in
whatever week or date we're on anymore. Who knows? Cease to have meaning, Julian.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. But what does matter is that we just say a quick thank you to everybody who's played tonight. So there's so much effort goes in from the artists to produce and prepare these tracks for us to listen to and enjoy. And as Rob was saying before, the quality level really is astonishing with some of the things that we play on here. And tonight was no exception. And if anything, it was probably one of the pinnacles tonight of one of the shows with the quality of music we had on there. So we did start off with Mimbot, who is Mimo Marfugi. I possibly pronouncing that correctly, using that beautiful Juno 106. We then moved to Almec. We were looking at a nice piece of subsequent 37 Moog gear in there as well. It was a lovely song, that. Then we moved on to Surging Mass, where there were some reversed samples I spotted in there, as well as those other bits of Moog kit in there too. Then we moved on to yourself, Rob. It was Etchasketch, with that lovely kind of ethereal moving piece that developed and grew and just took us to a new place and a new height, and then brought us back down again very gently, put us back into our little plump armchair. Don't know what I'm rambling on about. Then we moved on to HoverCat, who we're not sure if is a Thundercat, but I don't think it is, with a fantastic light show and a beautiful piece of work again. And again, I wrote down Soundscape for that because that really was a lovely piece of work. And then we ended off the night with Ypsi Kid, and as Rob quite rightly said, we've got a full set from Ypsi Kid next week, which you really should tune into on the YouTube channel. So thank you to everybody, and also a big thank you to Matt Garnett, who puts in a lot of the hard work behind the scenes to put all the graphics together and do a lot of the work and the tweaking of the songs and so forth. And obviously, Rob, many thanks to you.
From my point of view, I mean, would echo that with Matt. He's kind of in the background, but the amount of hard work he does technically, piecing everything together with the videos and that kind of thing is just brilliant. And making our tracks sound good when we fail to do so ourselves, which I think we've both been on the receiving end of, haven't we, Jules? So thank you to yourself, Jules. Absolutely. I think it's been nice to be on my own show with you at the helm, doing a masterful job as always. So thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you ever so much for everybody for tuning in tonight as well. Anybody who's tuning in the future, thank you to you too. Rob, it's been a pleasure as always. I'm sure we'll see people again next week when Mike's doing his set, and then also at the next Modulate TV, which will be in a couple of 3 weeks' time?
I think 4 weeks. So we're going to go the third Wednesday of every month. So try and settle into a bit of a kind of regular schedule on this, and I guess on that I'd just say anyone watching the show wants to get involved, then get in touch, drop us a line on Messenger or on the Facebook page, and as you know, with the radio show too, Only Human Radio Show, we're always open for people coming forward and sharing the work, and that's what this is all about. It's just about growing the community of people who want to kind of produce stuff and share it and be part of a great little supportive community that keeps going forward. So
absolutely. And it doesn't matter what level you're at either, don't worry about that. Just send in a piece of work, because everybody's got to start somewhere, and every piece of work is a unique piece of work to you. So just send it through and we'll be delighted to listen to it. Superb, great stuff. Okay, well, we'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, stay locked down. See you next time. Bye.